Well, it's almost Sunday, August 10th. It's going on midnight. So it'll be Sunday pretty soon. And, I hope this is the last talk I feel I needed to do. Because, I don't know that my grandchildren ever even see this. Any of my talks I'm trying to just say to them. And anyway, I feel like doing these talks are somewhat of a liability for me. I'm not really trusting type anymore. And look, I got a Julian Assange. Okay. I've got Julian Assange inside the WikiLeaks saga up. I think I'm going to watch that. So, I remember when Julian Assange put out some stuff about Hillary Clinton and this other guy. He exposed one of his emails or something. He was associated with Hillary Clinton, and it was when Hillary and Trump were fighting for the presidency, and she lost, and a lot of people didn't like Hillary Clinton, and really Bernie Sanders should have got the nomination from the Democratic Party. He might have beat Donald Trump, but look, the criticism is that even the Democrats are under the thumb of the I'm not sure what you call them, but they're the oligarchs. They're the people in the organizations with all the money that actually run the United States. Okay, you learn that you're a democracy kind of in school. It might say that, our form of government is a democratic form of government, and it's true, but if you study it at a more of a deeper, more professional level, or a higher level, it goes beyond the propaganda and stuff. We're not really considered a democracy. We're something called a plutocracy or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it is, but we're not really a democracy. We have a democratic form of government, but it's really not the way things in the United States are ran. And the reason that I'm actually feeling compelled to actually say this talk, hopefully to you, my grandchildren, is because, if the powers that be will allow it, I don't know what your life is going to be like. And I'm afraid for the future. I haven't really been as afraid as I've been lately regarding the future of America. And that's because of the things that are going on in our government and in our media. In our, basically, I think in our government. Okay, because right now, the Epstein scandal is really big, and it is so blatantly obvious that the Department of Justice is covering up for Donald Trump, the president, and other really, really rich people. There's enough out there, if you actually look at it, like I have recently, that you'll understand that, that it's another cover-up. And it's not the first cover-up in America. And things that are covered up, sometimes, they get criticisms levied at them, and you got people coming up with all kinds of theories, and you can't tell, quote unquote, shit from apple butter regarding it. And I think the mosquitoes are coming out. And but I heard Rachel Maddow talking tonight. Actually, I listened to one because I used to watch cable news, but I don't pay for cable no more, and I just really watch stuff that I can get off of free YouTube, and I get enough. And I was curious what she had to say, so I did a search and put her name in and watched a couple of her broadcasts, and she really laid out just how that our institutions are being gutted from the inside, and I concur with all that. I can see it. I've watched it, and I'm wondering, how can this happen? Now it's like, really, it's like almost like you would think, okay, when Hitler started in one, okay, we got like Democrats and Republicans and libertarians. Okay, and so it's like the three ones that we have. Well, Germany also had a few of them like that, and Hitler just came out of one of them. But when he got elected and everything put into office, then everybody complied to him. And that's the same thing that was going on with Donald Trump. Everybody's basically like kissing his ass, and it's frightening. For me, it's frightening because, look, like I already understand, like for example, one of my phones called the other phone without me even unlocking them. It's a fact. Somebody might say it can't happen. Well, it can happen, and if you look at what Snowden said, about the government's capability, and well, then you'll understand. All right, look, I called up Apple one time. I asked them for stuff, and the guy on the other end telling me that that's impossible and stuff like that. Well, they don't want to admit things, but it is possible. There's a lot of things that you might think are impossible. They are actually possible, and it's just frightening. Okay. Okay. So today, people are places are being raided by these ICE, there's ICE police or whatever you call them, and their masks. They wear masks so you can't see who they are. And they're trying to hire more and more ICE agents, all the way from 18 years old to however old. And, even like people that were attacked the White House, and attacked the White House, and when Trump was president and he wasn't wanting to give up power. Okay, well, even those people that did that can become ICE agents because they don't care. And Trump is getting rid of all the judges, so they rounding up all these people, putting them in camps. Nobody knows where they are. This is exactly the same thing that happened with the Nazis when they took over Germany and then rounded up all the Jews and anybody else that disagreed with them. Okay? And with all the surveillance and stuff that they can do, okay, that NSA can do, you know, they know, they can see everything that you say on your phone, every voice conversation, every text message, on social media, all of that, all right? They know, they got a profile of every one of us. And if they want to round up all the people that are like standing against Trump, for example, they'll do it. Especially if this train don't stop in the direction it's going. You know, this train of momentum of government policy, stuff like that. I mean, judges, everybody now is, the universities, TV stations, everybody is bowing to the almighty Donald Trump. It's hard for me to actually believe that this could ever be. And I keep thinking, man, he can't last much longer. But I don't know. Because, you know, there's powerful people that really, you know, dictate. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is not really a democracy. It's kind of like, I think Russia is considered an oligarchy because it's also, you know, governed by the rich. But America, I'm not really an economic economist, but I've listened to him talk and stuff, and you know, like I listen to people like you know, Richard Wolff, and you know, he's still alive, and there's other ones, you know, I listen to also, but I can't remember the other one's names, but I know Richard Wolff because I mean I can hear him on the radio, like he comes on the radio, and anyway, tonight I was feeling kind of scared, you know. I don't know why sometimes I think about certain things, you know, that the possibilities of what could happen that would be very, very difficult and frightening for me. And that is, like, for example, one of the things that they've done in like in the Nazi in you know, like World War II is they'll take and they've done this a lot throughout history. You know, they take families, children, and then they take them out of the family, and then they raise them to hate, like, the culture and stuff that they pulled the children out of. They train them to hate those people. They educate them and they nurture them in you know, in the art of, you know, hatred for a certain group of people that they actually came from. And I mean, they even, you know, take kids and make them actually, you know, kill their own parents without any remorse. And brainwash them. It's called brainwashing, actually. This is what brainwashing is. Well, you know, you take children away from their parents. They don't even know their parents anymore, and then they train them to hate their parents. I mean, you can train kids that are impressionable and stuff to be a certain way, and that's why it's hard for me sometimes to actually believe in God, because I understand how people can be molded, and how people can make compromises, and they'll take some thing that you did wrong at one point in your life and completely like discredit you, you know, and turn you and make like you, okay. Like if I'm talking to my grandchildren, you know, like, just so you understand, I mean, you know, they can turn people, they can make the narrative about a person and present them in a way that's not true. And I mean, you know, you can like make a person through education, like be an atheist, or believe in God, or believe in your parents, or not believe in your parents, or anything. And you know, with the right introduction and continual rehearsings and reiteration, you can make a person, you can train a person just like you can train an animal. Look, I'm just saying, like, I would hate the thing, like, I have, you know, spent like time with my grandson Bryson, okay? And if a government ever like took him and turned him into a hater of a certain group of people, like if he ever became like an ICE agent or something, see what that would destroy me. That would so destroy me. Because I don't know why. I don't know why the Bob Dylan song is playing in my head right now, you know. To hate them and fear them, to run and to hide. Protecting some so proudly with God on my side. Oh, okay, that was the part about the Russians. Okay. You see how we can, and he points out in that song, God on our side, you know, how he is reflecting on how he was trained as a boy, you know. If the next war comes, it's the Russians we must fight. He wrote this a long time ago. No, you know. I don't really know who we would fight, but I know a nation divided against itself cannot stand. That comes from the Bible. You know, that bit of wisdom right there. Sun Tzu probably said it too. Well, it is easily understood. You know, in order to defeat a group of people, if you can get them to fight amongst themselves, then it's easier to destroy them because they're not a unified force. All right. Well, look, I don't know what's going on right now exactly with like all these tariffs and this big beautiful tax, big beautiful bill, you know, and Trump put us in like now into like, I think it's like over $3 trillion of debt to fund the military, to get rid of all the judges and hire more ICE agents and build more prisons and concentration camps. Get everything ready. Get rid of all the people that are actually, you know, we got three branches of you know, we got the executive branch, and we got the that's the president, you know, and then we got the judicial branch, and that's the Department of Justice, and then we got the I don't know what the other one is called, I can't remember, but like Congress, You know, we got Congress and the House of Representatives, stuff like that. Okay, and so they're supposed to all be checks and balances. Okay, but now the way it's working out is that, you know, everybody is doing what the president's bidding, and he's an autocrat, and he is a very wicked, evil person. You know. He is. Like, I don't say that lightly. And I say that because I'm actually very, very scared. What's coming down the pipe for us? I'm thinking, like, you know, they could take my grandchildren, you, and turn them into monsters. You know, that's what they're going to try to do, is capture the hearts of the children. And I'm just sad for it. I hope it don't happen this way. Because the thing is, you know, throughout the history of civilizations, you know, both, you know, like over in China and other places, and, well, I mean, you know, a little bit about, you know, China, all the stuff they went through, that whole area, and I know about, you know, America, and England, and then America, and there's been nothing but war, and atrocity, and people that are rich, you know, want to maintain power, and they will at all costs, you know, maintain power. And I tell you, man, when they got control of police forces and ICE agents, and government, I mean, take away your property. How much property they? Then why do you think the Jews, Israel, is so severe? It's because of the loss they experience. A lot of people got their homes taken away, got their everything of their culture and their libraries and everything destroyed, and they do that. They do that because that's how they take a real thorough control of a people. I have never felt sadder in my life. Even when I was sitting on that railroad tie, thinking about, well, if the cops roll in, my life is over, because I'm not up for a fight, you know, over something like a false accusation. And I ain't sitting in jail. I didn't do nothing wrong, right? But I felt like I was being set up. And like I said before, I have already been sent to jail for something I didn't do. You know, twice. But 3 times, but I didn't have to go to jail on one of the times. But I still got a charge over something I didn't do. But then, after that, you know, I was put in jail twice for something I didn't do. Oh, look, man, I've got a little post-trauma on that front. And just makes me scared. It makes me scared at what could happen, because that's why Julian Assange, that's why I'm going to learn a little bit more about his story, because look, they hate him because he leaks truth. And people don't want to know the truth. They don't want the truth out there for people to know. They say there's nothing more powerful than a secret. Right? And, the thing about the Bible is that the Bible teaches that nothing that's done in darkness is going to forever be hid from the light. The light is going to expose every deed done in darkness. I mean, that's the promise of the Bible. That's why I hope with all my heart that it's true. Because, sometimes it's hard to believe, man. It's hard to believe in God sometimes. Especially when you're facing, like, the impossible and the atrocity. When you feel like you just need to end it. Because that's what the darkness wants to push you to the point where you just want to end your life. Look, people don't want to suffer. And if they realize that, they're either going to have to take their life, otherwise they're going to be inbound for a hell of a lot of suffering, they'd rather just end their life. And I've been there. That's what I'm talking about. So, I don't want to go there again. And I'm scared right now. I'm scared of what's going on in our society. Because if things don't turn, it's going to go the same way it did in Germany. Well, I'm going to end it here. You know what? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pray. I'm going to even say a prayer right now. This is the first one that I've ever done, that I've actually ever, said a prayer. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to let it come out, because, there's a saying that in a foxhole, like in a foxhole, there are no unbelievers or something like that. Like in a foxhole is where you fight from, like where it would make ditches, and then be inside the ditch, and bombs would be coming, and the planes would be firing, and the enemy across the way would be throwing grenades and whatever they can. It'd be in war, okay? Like, I'm not sure how the saying goes, but like in war, okay, people, even unbelievers, will pray. Okay. Like, even if you don't even believe, okay, you still kind of believe, oh, maybe, Look, like when we're at our wits' end, it's not uncommon for a person to pray. I'm gonna close this one out like in a prayer, I have no idea what I'm gonna say, but my mom believed in God, and my dad believed in God, and my grandma and my grandpa. They believed. and my grandma on my mom's side believed, and my grandpa, my mom's dad, believed. And even though I say sometimes, like, you can't convince me, nobody can make me believe that there's God after what I've seen and what I know and stuff like that, you know. Well, I still actually do hope. Okay. There's a verse in the Bible that says, like, hope without hope. That we hope without hope. And that really captures my regard. Because, like, just like I said, you know, I found my faith only in the words of Jesus. My God, why have you forsaken me? Okay? Nothing else. Only because there's something in those words that reached me inside. I don't know. Leonard Cohen has got a song. You know what I'm going to do? Oh, I would play it. I would play his song, So You Want It Darker. Because that song appeals to me too. Look, we can find God in the dark places. My contention that a lot of times everything else is just a bunch of bullshit. But, okay, I'm going to say, Jesus, guide us, please. Help us, I pray, to see the way when there is no way. And no matter what happens in this life, may we stand with you and by you. I believe, dear Lord, even if we die, we will not die alone. You will be with us. And I put my trust in you. Help my grandchildren. And forgive us for all of our sins. Help us forgive those who hurt us. That we rise to live with you forever in your kingdom. Amen. That's my prayer. Notice I prayed to Jesus Christ. I didn't pray to the Buddha. I didn't pray to Sun Tzu. I prayed to Jesus Christ. All right, bye.